Sure.
Let me ask you this. I do know you have, let me pull this up here. Boop. All right. So you've got 3 albums, is that correct? 3 full-length albums.
Yes. And then a couple EPs and the soundtrack in there.
Yeah, let me ask you the soundtrack. What's the soundtrack about?
The soundtrack was so this was my junior year of college. I had a friend who was working on basically just like an indie movie. Yeah, like a local indie movie. And she was like, hey, I think I actually, yeah, I was just like, before we even really knew each other, I heard her talking about a movie and I was trying to network with people. So I was like, hey, if you ever need anyone who like records and does music, shoot me like a message or something. She was like, okay, sure, whatever. And eventually it just kind of fell together like that. So, yeah, they were making a horror movie locally at the time. And I got the privilege of making the soundtrack for it.
The movie's called Play Dead, if I'm
Yes.
reading it all correctly. And you wrote the music to it, which is pretty wild. Let me ask you this. Do you know if Play Dead is available to be viewed anywhere, or is it something that was made so independently they just kind of shelved it as a project for fun?
It's on YouTube,
Ooh.
and it should just be Play Dead Movie. I don't remember exactly what the title is. It's out there, though. At least of like last year, it's 100% out there.
I'm totally checking it out, and I'm not even a horror movie fan. Let me ask you this, though. Your music, I feel, would lend itself to writing like a soundtrack for a movie so much better than maybe metal or punk or country or something like that. Because, I mean, if you sit and listen to like the big box movies and things like that, it's a lot more electronic stuff going on, and it's not like somebody's out there with a heavy distorted guitar going da 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 da. You know, like it doesn't make sense. So, would you concur that your music might lend itself to maybe taking on different avenues than traditional music might?
Yes, I think that kind of does fall into it a lot, and that's actually happened too. It wasn't specifically a soundtrack, but another one of my EPs, like 3 of the 5 songs were written for a short film. So like it kind of just comes up. But I think having like, I think that was out also after I did Play Dead. So I think I was kind of like people knew that I did that soundtrack, so they were like, oh, he does soundtracks. Do you need him for this? And I was like, oh, yeah, that's great. I personally really like that it lends itself to doing soundtracks because I have a lot of fun with that. And that also saves me the trouble of having to, like, come up with a concept in my own head. Like, for once I see what's going on and I get to just make what I think will work for it.
Oh, that's beautiful. I didn't even think of that because they could give you something that's like in the pre-production process, or it's been filmed and it needs to be edited down and stuff. And you're like, well, we got this scene that kind of goes like this. Can you write something that fits it? And that's so much, I would say that's so much easier than just being like, out of the blue, think of something great, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a lot of fun to actually kind of have those guidelines there and be like, all right, now I know what I'm trying to do at least.
Mm-hmm.